Hello, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are tuning in from. It saddens me to have to say this to you guys, but it's the final day of the official CS Summit 6 B stream, which means after today, Vince and I, we're hanging up our hats. We're out of here. We're done for. And that's okay, Vince, because at least we get to finish on a high note. And I'm glad that you're back here with me for this one. Ninjas in Pajamas versus North.
I'm glad to be back, Connor. Yeah, and you've been on the road quite a bit. Well, metaphorically, of course, from home as
Yeah.
much as you can. That's an awful phrase. Let's move on from that. You've been casting a lot from home. I think you said this is your 45th day in a row, or something mad like that.
45 days, Vince. 45
Jeez,
days of
man.
waking up and thinking about casting Counter-Strike and then actually casting Counter-Strike. But yeah, this is it. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself after today.
A lot of games. A lot of games.
Just as
All
much
the
Counter-Strike.
Yeah. Just slightly shifted with the focus. You'll be behind the keyboard and the mouse rather than on the microphone. But yeah, it'll be all Counter-Strike all day. And obviously, we do have the player break coming around the corner. Then the event's going to start kicking off again. But we still have to find out which of these two teams will move forward between NIP and North. Legendary Org versus North, an org that, would it be safe to say, Scrawny's never quite lived up to the expectation that people may have had when this kind of all came together?
Yes, I think that is a fair assessment of the situation. It's been a struggle from the get-go. We could agree. Some highs and the possibility of real highs as well, it seems, at times. But let's see how high they get up on this A ramp. They've already started to wrap around short. Cajun's going to drop some utility towards sandbags, so they've flustered out any potential threats from the CTs, all of which, other than Twist, he is sat back on boost, puts out the fire just in time, as he had 10 HP, and the molly was creeping all the closer. Plopsky, he's real damn close. He's basically on the bomb site. Flicks around from short, getting 2 kills, and Knock takes down that last one. So Ninjas, they forfeit the bomb site and the plant, Vince, but a beautiful, quick little retake.
Yeah, so brisk, honestly. When North get into that position, I'm thinking, okay, this is probably going to be a bit of a slobber knocker, but they're likely just going to be edging out of this round with North taking the first round on their choice of map. Instead, NIP, beautiful retake, keeping most of their players alive, and full Galil, Scrawny. All Galils all day. No Mac 10s, which is quite surprising on Vertigo. I feel like that mobility with the SMGs, always something that a lot of teams will fall back to, but not North.
No, not North. It's a bit of an odd one, but I know that they have an affinity for this A ramp. We watched a really good game of Vertigo between North and Movistar Riders. A couple of maps actually on it that were enjoyable from beginning to end. So expect lots of A plays, but then also expect some really cool mid to B splits at times as well. I think it's really going to depend on the defensive nip. You could just go A for 15 rounds in a row if it's working well enough. But don't think that North are some sort of one-trick pony.
Yeah, that would definitely lull you into a false sense of security. As NIP went in for, they did lose Rez to kick off the round, but Gade's now been traded back, and AZ down to 8 HP. This is where the firepower being forced in may actually hurt them. They only have smokes to fall back on. They came through with very little utility, no flashes, no mollies, no HEs. So they're going to be pushing onto the side. Grenade somehow doesn't finish off AZ, but MSL is being chunked and chipped away while Twist rips in with the MP9. There's 2 and a third. Money in the bank, round on the board, and NIP suppressing the force buy from the Danes.
Very nicely done by Twists. I mean, good target prioritization as well. I don't know how much of that player on top of the smoke he actually saw, but he ignored it long enough to really ensure he killed the guy on that back cat. Gave them nothing. No bomb plant to follow suit, so North, it's going to have to be the full save. Flashbang on Gade, P250 for AZ. And other than that, other than the $500 accumulative, there's nothing here for North. So why not go ahead and start sizing up this B bomb site? You know, if there's any round that you can waste in terms of just gathering information or trying to catch someone by surprise, it's gotta be these B steps. Plopsky, he almost dunks a nade on top of them, but the moment it explodes, they take that position.
Yeah, once the explosion clears, so will North. They're being dispersed. Plopsky coming in with 4 kills. And Twist with the finale. Obviously, it is an eco, so can't get too carried away, but NIP have expertly weathered the storm, collectively only losing 3 players in 3 rounds. And that previous one, is going to do the world of good to their economy, but now North have full AKs, full dosage of grenades. Are NIP able to avoid more in what effectively will be a bonus round with a Galil and an MP9 in play?
Not too limiting for ninjas, and it's been convincing from the start, so I can get behind it. Cajun takes the top of ladder, Rezzy's on the ramp. Flash goes round, and that's not a favorable gunfight, but maybe the grenades can turn the tide into his favor. Knock, he's going to go for the deep peek. Can't maintain versus Gade, who jumps up onto the boxes, shaving back the trade frag. Hampus, he looks to linger on short as long as he needs to. And MSL, he could so easily be swept under the rug.
Oh yeah, propelled outside of that rug from an explosion if he's not careful, very low. There is a HE in the hands of Twist, but he is now moving on to the A site. And MSL intelligently watches the close angle with the AK, not overextending, not in any of those angles where the HE is likely to fire in, but he still takes it. And the curse of the commentator coming alive instantly. 55 seconds, and now NIP going to try and hold the line one more time. Twist sprays out with the Galil, gets one, but Christu comes back with two in retaliation. Giving North something to work with, but Rez going to close his eyes. An NIP 4-0 lead, money balling out of control, and North on the back foot again.
Yep, not a great start for North, but I will say, Christu, he had my interest peaked after the last Vertigo showing. Vince, he had the coolest 1 versus 4 on that A bomb site versus Riders, of course. And it was just like, you know, when you see players who are just, it's like they're playing chess almost. Like they know that right now they need to hit a headshot on target A, but then the moment they get that kill, target B is going to make this move. So then Christu is already prepared to swing back around, keeps the spray going, etc. That's the type of clutch we're talking about, man. It was knee deep in brain fluid, and so now every time I see him in those moments, I'm kind of thinking to myself in the back of my head, like, could this be another? Because unfortunately for Christu, I want to kind of say like this was like the MIBR effect where like we saw this constant changing of a fifth player and it never seemed to be enough to like revitalize the roster. Now MIBR, they've got TRK. That looks great and I'm all for it. So that's proof that eventually you can maybe find a piece that clicks. And Christu on an individual level, statistically, not always some kind of, head turner, so to say. But I've seen like glimmering hopes of some real star potential in rounds here and there. So anytime I'm watching North nowadays, despite them, being ranked outside of the top 30, that's what my eyes fall on. It's like, well, at least I can learn about more of these individuals. We know what a lot of them can offer, and it should be more than they accomplish. But Christu's still that unknown quantity, so he's fun to keep your eyes on.
I'd say it's a good point. And, you look across the north and there's a lot of veterancy here. You've got Cajun B, MSL. Plopsky now, though, going to try and hold the line against the aforementioned. Christo is the first player to fall. It is with pistols. They're going to be looking to overwhelm the site. Twist now stuck on the back of the generators with it. No, not ideal. And MSL going to take that away from him. He is a player that can definitely run out with this AWP and cause some mayhem, but he's going to wide swing into Rez. Post-plant falls upon the ninjas. But a 2v3 will favor the CTs as Gade and Cajun valiantly stand their ground and put out some serious pain. Smoke now tossed in. Both players have a kit, of course, and an incendiary for the wide peak. So Cajun's going to try his hand through the smoke, but now has to retrieve in for more. So nearly lands the frag and then gets it. And this round could go the way of Cajun yet. He's going to be peeking back around the corner and he takes it down. North with one of their worst buys. Going to make it stick.
Well, sometimes that happens. A labored Deagle spray down into Rez. I mean, so many shots had already gone by him. I'm sure in hindsight, ninjas are going to think to themselves, like, shit, we should have just stuck to that smoke. We should have made sure we killed him because there was still going, you saw it, as the smoke began to fade, they would have had time to still go for that defuse. It's not like there was less than 10 seconds when Rez decides to fully commit. They just thought the trade would be possible or that Cajun would come up empty-handed in his attempt at spam damage. So, okay, North, I see you. Interesting way to break through what was a spree of victories from the ninjas, but can they continue and convert off of the back of it? That's the big question. That's the bigger task at hand, really, here for North. And, well, they're sizing one another up here towards this A site. It's one of those situations where North, they actually come away with a better buy. They've got extra cash as well. Gade, He does land the shots into Rez ever so slightly, but enough to make him panic just a bit. We continue the spam damage of the A site. Grown accustomed, Vince, to just shooting at walls.
That is Vertigo, isn't it? Fortunately, with the mid and B changes, it doesn't happen quite as often as it used to. As you said before, these wraparounds through middle on B are now much more enticing and an attractive proposition for the T's, but North been a little bit one-dimensional. That last round was just a B push with effectively pistol and armor. Flashes now past the crane, one of which derps off there and actually bounces in the eyes of the T's. Is a bit awkward. And now the CT is going to boost up, finding Gade up on the box. But again, it's a ruse. They're actually headed towards the B site. They have got the favorable trays and IP, so they will have the player advantage in this retake, but it will be a post plant with AZ perched up in perfect position, sprays two of them down, switches his attention elsewhere, and then the door is slammed shut in the eyes of the Danes. There will be no refuge here in round 6 for them. They take it, do nip, and it was looking pretty bad though, Scrawny. When AZ went in for that double spray, I thought the round was done.
Yeah, I could definitely see why you'd see that. I mean, just hinging on very quick trade frags. I mean, 5 kills in super rapid succession there unfolding on the B site. And obviously all of North's work at A was to get that B defense caught off guard. And the moment they fragged out on the 1B hold towards that ramp, they just flew upwards. And they're probably thinking to themselves, well, if we can get away with a post plant on B like last round, let's just force into the site itself. But Nock, he forces his way down a ramp, goes for that deep peek, and drops AZ out of the equation. So man advantage up for Nip after answering back to the sole round win of North. You know, 4 versus 5, they're going to have to try and claw their way into a situation. But, I mean, where do you even begin? Bring bomb over towards A site, perhaps. Gade and MSL, they've been in position since the start of the round, just waiting for somebody else from the CTs. But the moment Nock got that pick, he flew right back into safety. And then he's got that eye up on short, but the Molotov is going to push the Opper back. You can still linger around with a rifle if you choose to, because at least the T's have to push past, but that sniper is going to get flushed back. So blind is Nock that he's still standing out in the open. Christou's going to go ahead and plant that bomb. Gade gives cover as Rez gets aggressive in the middle of it all. And MSL, one straight bullet's going to take him out of this. Hampus, burned off at the top of the box, sees MSL, who is still fighting Vince despite low HP. And Gade, he's pinned in. He's got nowhere to run. He has to hide on site, hoping his teammates give enough cover. Plopsky, he's going to be able to double down on this. And MSL, an easy third frag. Now it's all in the fourth. Christou in the post plant. 1v3. Can't take anything more than MSL. Ah, nice attempt. But it is the Ninjas with yet another round.
Yeah, he knew he had to stand and fight because one of his teammates was killed from side, and therefore he knew that that pincer movement was coming in. So unfortunate for Christou, good smoke also deployed. He couldn't get that fast tap round the corner, had to actually swing a little bit wider and made him that little bit more vulnerable. But Plopsky, 13 and 271 ADR. We're pretty early into the game, but still, those are pretty phenomenal statistics. 4 effective flashes on top of that as well, so he's really just having a solid all-round performance from the young Swede. And now NIP looking to try and stave off the ramp push again. Good flash through, affords the entry onto Hampus. He gets vanished by Gade's AK-47. But they're not going to push behind that, Scrawny. They're actually slowing down the pace. They're going to try and force NIP to over-rotate and use some of this vital utility before they decide to hit either site.
Obviously, he's wary on mid. There's got to be a lurk. But nothing just yet. Seems like A will be the battlegrounds to the very end. At least here in the 8th, 3 T's stacking up on short side. Rez, he's going to be in close proximity, eats that flashbang. They hard check him, and down he goes. Twist, he can't react fast enough with the spray transfer. And a 2 versus 4, thanks to Plopsky's grenade. Even when they're not winning rounds, Vince, he's finding his impact one way or another. But it does seem like they're just going to walk from this. So North, they've taken that second. And it comes by way of something pretty clean. Just sizing up that A site, working in with majority numbers on short, and clearly the flashbangs were so effective that the defense had no chance at a hold.
Very well played by North. They didn't overextend. They didn't go super aggro after getting the first pick on the ramp. I believe it was Gade that got the opening pick for North. And they made the most of it after that. As you say, I mean, Plopsky at least having a little bit of impact on his way out. But this is where the two previous rounds, the two previous retakes, only surviving with 2 players is going to catch up with NIP. They know their economy's in the slums, and if they don't save these guns, it's effectively into maybe even a force buy situation. The 2 of them down to 1,400. They may force behind this AWP and AUG, knowing that next round, not going to be a great buy. So that's exactly what they go for. So North now, in a position, this is effectively a 2-for-1. If they win this round, NIP's economy is in ruins, and they can really start to bring themselves back into this half. A poor start, but they can salvage this.
Volley down B. Again, just preemptively, in case there is something in position. Now Hampus, he gets aggressive. He couldn't see, though. That smoke, it robbed him, as it gave MSL an easy advantage. He could see his knees, but the CT's head was too high, Vince. He had his head in the clouds. He was hopeful and young and optimistic. And then reality sank in. MSL drags him down into the 5v4 here for North. That's a huge opening in a round where before this, North have not been able to win consecutive. This is the big one. This is the follow through that they absolutely need to turn around this CT side, to hell, even maybe walk away with a lead. Grenades are up. Op in position on knock. There's the deagle. Just the deagle from Rez is good enough for the first one. Gady gets the double twist. He's all that's left over, and he gets shut down by MSL. 3 frags for Gade as they walked into that A site. And just like that, we've got North at half the round count of the Ninjas with the CTs strapped for cash.
Oh, they're flat out broke. Skint of money are NIP. And meanwhile, the Danes, their economy is turned around nicely. 3 players, actually 4 players over $5,000. It's only AZ that's looking a little bit worse for wear. And a full USP round with the CTs rushing into middle. It's going to be a massacre. One of the fastest rounds of Counter-Strike you will ever see. Over within about 5 or 10 seconds. And North expectedly will get it their 4th. NIP back into a bye. But Scrawny, no kits unless Hampus picks one up. Or Rez maybe could as well. They're going to decide not to go for it. No AWPs. Lack of utility. North in a really good position to punish NIP again.
Heavy presence. They want to fight for this A site. Sometimes it's best as the CTs to just stack this bad boy. And they've got those 3 players on ramp. Rez, he's going to die to the same thing that cost Hampus his life last round. That smoke grenade that's going up on short is giving the advantage to the T's in a very one-sided fashion. But it's almost like the CTs haven't realized it just yet. Plopsky, he's going to lose out on mid as everybody dies on the A site, Vince. Just a clean sweep for North. But don't let that make you think it wasn't close. Gade, 4 health left over. MSL, 2 HP after the fact. So there's definitely a chance there for Ninjas. Just a couple of more bullets. Not even kills. Just literally 2 more bullets in the right position could have completely swung that back the other direction. Without it, North are now sitting on 5. CTs, cash in question. This game is absolutely tied up. And it's going to be coming by way of North winning 5 in a row.
It's rapid as well, though, Scrawny. I mean, this match has been going on for 15, 20 minutes, and these rounds feel like they've been going a space of a couple seconds, just very aggressively up on ramp. North have clearly seen a weakness. They've clearly seen a gap in which they can exploit and try and poke and probe as much as possible, and that's ramp. And NIP, they've stacked 3, they've stacked 4, they've got their utility in, and they still can't deal with it. MSL, wrapping from side, Gade, consistently getting really big entries, and we're seeing that now move into a situation where 4 players have over $10,000. This is one of the perks of having a team that is very happy not to use an AWP. MSL typically is going to be picking that up for the Danes. They can go for double ops as well, but he's also just as fine to stay with the AK-47, allowing them that mobility to just rip and shred through each area of the map simultaneously as a well-oiled machine. and NIP cannot put a wrench in the cogs. It's just getting into that situation where it's 6-5, so it doesn't look that bad, but the manner in how these rounds have come down, Connor, makes me genuinely worried for NIP, and it's going to be another A hit. No huge surprise there.
It's starting to work, right? You know, North, they fizzled out on that B side a couple of times when it seemed like A maybe not the solution, but now they're 100% on board with this. And the counter terrorists, they can continue to stack up as they damn well please. Curious to see if the CTs continue to try and push out short once we get back into the gun rounds. You know, I would argue that those 2 kills, one on Hampus, one on Rez, is really what swung it to the favor of North. And, well, Gade with 2, AZ another. Both of them on the double frags this round, and Hampus, he's just trying to skate in from behind here, looking to find some sort of an opening. Hell, if he's able to get 1 frag, it'll be some kind of takeaway for Ninjas, because other than Hampus, who's going to be empty-handed, it's all of North standing at the end of the 12th. So we are tied up at 6, and now North not only eliminating the lead of the CTs, but very much primed and prepared to take it themselves. How? AZ, man. 13 frags, 9 deaths. We wanted to talk about Plobsky at the start of the game. AZ is caught right back up with him.
As of North, and here's a pretty worrying statistic. The last 5 rounds, North have won in a row. 3 casualties. Only 3 players have died. 2 of those rounds were flawless. This has been a massacre in the last 5 minutes. And again, we're going to see an A hit. This time, Nip stacking 3 or 4 players over here in different positions, trying to use off angles, boosted up his Hampus, waiting, anticipating this play, but they've been forced back from a well-placed Molotov and a couple of flashbangs. And now they're in that firing range of just being sprayed up through the walls. This is where HEs and utility is going to be a nuisance. But meanwhile, North not fully committing to this. They can still wrap to B, knowing it should by and large be fairly free of any CTs.
See Nox starting to get closer step by step to this short peak. 4T is now on the ramp itself. You know, he would love to be able to swing out wide here, but MSL, he's doing such a good job of keeping these CTs honest, whether it's through the smoke that he finds his advantage or through this angle here. But Nox, he's gonna get pressured. Molotov behind him, still able to land that first shot, but it's a great trade by AZ. MSL goes down. Short, still a point of contest here for the A site. Rez, he is going to be able to stop that one as AZ emerges through smoke before the rest of his team commits fully. Christu, meanwhile, trying to clear out middle, and if he kills Plobsky, bet your damn ass, Vince, that bomb's coming back towards B. It's already en route. Christu trying to react to the peak of Plobsky in a 2 versus 4. He just needs to buy time. Keep the defense out of the bomb site long enough for Gade to get it in. But Plobsky gives very rapid chase because Christu hadn't cleared the B site, so he couldn't know for sure. There very well could have been somebody pushed down on those B stairs to cut off the bomb. Obviously not the case. From our point of view, it would have been way better for Christu to just stay towards mid, keep those CTs back as they scrambled into the bomb site. But alas, you know, information is half of the battle. And we have that luxury, Vince. North, they step it up. 1 round to the lead, right back at it. It cost them 5 in a row to the favor of North, but they've stopped the A hit in that 13th round.
Yeah, they finally managed to do it. Will they be able to do it consistently? Because they're about to be pressured again. Now we have Christo looking over towards the B side. Rare's going to peek out, but it's into a death, and there's no real flashbang to supply that was effective. It just facilitated Rez's demise. That's such a strange moment. Like, Nip, after being successful pushing them back, just decide to peek out like that. Give a free frag away. Yeah. And that's how North got back into this situation in the first place, Scrawny, from mistakes like that.
Ding, ding, ding. You are spot on. It was the 2 pushes into short A, where one time it was Rez and the other Hampus. Those 2 frags at the hands of MSL are absolutely how this A site was compromised. So you're dead on, man. It's just a bit of a gamble, a bit too much of a risk. Obviously, if it pays off, we've seen them fall back with 5v4s, but check this out. Twist, he's getting into position. As the T's are occupied with short, Twist, he guns down a second. That's AZ finished off. Christu, 1 HP. Not this, he's just tucked in on the side of the crane here. And they're about to walk right into him. Gade, he's got his grenades out. He's looking for the post plant, but he's got to deal with Hampus first and foremost. They can block off his teammates, but Hampus still at bat. Stops the bomb, goes for another, and he even takes down the second, leaving just Christu 1 health and 3 enemies. He's cut down the first, but it's got to be perfect. It has to be flawless, Vince.
There's no room for error. Absolutely not. No safety net, no second chances, and 15 seconds in which to hatch a master plan. He's just going to go for the outright plant, and the timing favors him. Nearly gets the drop on Plopsky. If he had a little bit more HP, I actually think he gets that frag, and then it's down to the 1v1. But instead, Nip, credit to them, after losing Rez somewhat needlessly in middle on the ramp, Twist, huge double kill on the ramp to drop the bomb out. I think he got 2 kills and dropped Christu to 1 HP as well. So that was mainly the passage of play that got Nip across the finish line, and they're somewhat recovering, I would say, but North still breathing down their necks.
Definitely. North, I mean, that spree of 5 rounds right there was enough of a statement to make their half. You know, whether they can close with another, just get that little bit more, it's definitely doable. But there's now, you know, a new challenger has entered the arena in the form of Twist. Like, it was Plopsky at the start. Now Twist is caught up right there with his teammate. And meanwhile on North, we're still very much just watching AZ kind of go a step above and beyond. Everybody's playing okay, but there's 3 players playing great, and 2 of them happen to be on the team with that 2-round lead. So 2 rounds are a minimal difference because of that difference in performance. But a double sniper set up here to close the CT side. Knock posted early on middle. Rez on the bomb site. These T's, they start to pressure him. They take his teammate down. Nice! He reemerges back from the side of the smoke, taking down a second player. And all the while, Hoppus, he got a kill from beyond the grave there. The Molotov burning one of North's members. Bomb on site, and Rez doesn't want to die here. Not the hill to lose on when the retake's possible. Oh, they stop bomb. That's dirty. Cajun, 1 versus 3 with the sniper rifle of all things, gets knocked first and foremost. 45 seconds with a smoke to play around.
He really needs to expunge this left-hand side with his AWP before he has any chance of picking up the second player. But this smoke is huge. Plopsky can just hide behind it. And Cajun with the AWP, once that smoke clears, has a bit of time. That's really the only thing working for him. Big shot, takes some damage, but he's dropped to 9. And now it's a battle of the AWPers, enemy at the gate style. 25 seconds to go. Molotov lands on top of Rez. He's going to burn down to 53, but more importantly, it opens up an angle that Cajun B can now try and retrieve the bomb with. A good counter molly tossed in, and with Cajun on such low HP, he can't afford to try and push past there in case it spreads. 8 seconds to go. Is he going to go for the full plant? He will. And Rez assumes it's the fake. Now the dynamic switches in favor of Cajun B, and he delivers with a 3rd triple strike. North get a 7th, but Ninjas of Pyjamas will be leading 8-7. I can't believe he's pulled that off, Scrawny.
Cajun, baby, in the clutch, man. That's always a real treat. The fact that he pulls it off with the op, just a little bit even more impressive. So I'm all for that one. That was a nice way to close out the half. And also because it just keeps the map as close as can be. Yeah, we've had strong performance. We've got some big clutches coming out of each side, and that one from Cajun will be memorable. Just like that. You know, I was just trying to talk about, like, who is the second player on North to step up, because I alluded to, obviously, Twist catching up to Plopsky. But with that frag right there, that 3K, that's enough to put Cajun into the double digits, just 2 shy of AZ. So we got our answer in the same round that I asked the question, Vince. That doesn't happen often.
It feels good when it does, though. Like, Clairvoyant Connor is back. You had some big reads yesterday. It's good to see that you're continuing in that. But I'm just super glad that our first map today isn't a blowout. I think every other day we've commentated together, the first map's been a bloodbath, and then it's the second map that gets a bit closer. So it's good to start off with a close one here today.
I blame riders for that.
Yeah, true. Slow to start, but they always just come back.
To be fair, you know, they also provided us some pretty exciting second maps, but the first maps were always flat. Weird one. The final day, Vince. It's dawning on me as we get a chance to collect our thoughts here.
Kind of bittersweet, I suppose, to a degree. Like, looking forward to a bit of a break, but at the same time, you know, you love commentating,
yeah.
So
I'm going to hibernate for probably 72 hours. Just sleep straight.
Sounds pretty good to me, man, I've got to say.
Wake up. I mean, I say that, but in reality, I'm probably going to, you know, still check HLTV. Oh, so what games are on today? Oh, yeah. Yes, like Counter-Strike is, yeah. It's always there. It's omnipresent, and I'm thankful for that. So I think I'm just looking forward to seeing the players have a nice break. You know, this has been a very intensive schedule the last month and a half. Hell, I say month and a half because that's what I relate to. But even before I started this big spree, you know, we had the guys in Cologne living in the Lanchin, doing like the road to Rio. Like there have been, you know, we've had different like talents across the different events, but we've never just had the players with a legitimate breather since the online realm kind of kicked back into action. So if there's anybody who I think deserves a break, Vince, screw my feelings, it's these guys. And I'm sure it's nice to know that the winner of this game, of course, gets that 7th place. 7th place, 8th place? Yeah, I think that's the match that we're deciding right now. Of course, you know, we need a result for every single position to evenly distribute our Valve RMR points. Enough about the context, let's talk about the round. Naki tries to go peeking into the A site. Christu, he's got other ideas. He gets quelled alongside AZ. Plopsky and Rez with a kill apiece here for the T's to answer back. So this is a legitimate 3 versus 5. Turn 3v3. And the CTs, well, they're just going to sit pretty on the bomb site. Smokes fade. Plopsky, he gets that vision. Sees MSL trying to jump up. So that's one of the 3 CTs confirmed. Great grenades. Damage done. Plopsky holds this on. He's going to eat a little bit of a flash. Ducks into the cover. Rebounds with a kill versus Cajun. Then he's going to get Gade in the back line and finish off thanks to the assists of Twist. 4 kills for Plopsky. Just like that, Vince, he pushes himself to 21-7.
This man started the first half so well, and he's picking it up on the second one as well. So, I mean, even though North have pulled it back and had some really good moments within this game, ultimately, Plopsky is just so hard to deal with in this kind of form. The guy is aggressive. He can also play passively. He's good at clutching. He can use almost every single weapon. And it's really highlighted in his stats. Still, 115 ADR as they look to try and pressure and pivot push on towards the A side. Cajun with 3 deeds, though. Twist, Plopsky, and Rez all dispatch, and Christu comes round the back and cleans up the rest. Unbelievable round from North, and Cajun in particular.
Get some. You want to mess around with that A ramp aggression? You don't think these CTs know how to tango, Vince? I mean, we saw them work their way into that A site from the depths of it. Now we know that they can fight from above as well. They got that high ground advantage. They've got the deagles in hand. Really cool, elaborate little setup there that is just basically just timed peaks. The short guy comes in exactly when he has to, takes pressure away. And of course, Cajun, he needs to step up to begin with, right? That play doesn't happen if somebody doesn't hit their first shot straight out the gate. So props to Cajun B. He closed that first half, and he bounced back into the start of this one, even with them losing pistol. He has already surpassed AZ, who has been at the top of North's scoreboard since the beginning of this game. And look at the state of these ninjas. They're not wearing pajamas, Vince. They're in tattered rags.
And those rags are being slowly stripped away from AZ's M4 alongside the remainders of the Swedes. Bit of overkill shooting the corpse as well, AZ. He's not had his bloodlust pulse just yet, and now he is going to be falling back to the site where Gade alongside Cajun are there to lend him a helping hand. They've repelled the push, that much is clear. There was going to be an aggressive play from NIP, and now they fall back with Twist. Maybe just looking for a bomb plant and not too much more from this. Good flash in, and AZ cleans up one more time. It's looking like North will bring us back to equality. It's been a while since we could have said that in this game. It's been back and forth. But now it seems like it's going to be all even. And it will be off the back of a force buy from NIP. So in terms of their economy, it's not going to be fantastic either. Twist at least going to get the drop on Cajun B. Is hoping he can maybe force a plant. But Christu isn't too sure if this is a fake or not. Spins around just in time to deny the bomb plants. That is money that goes down with Twist's life. And Rez is easy pickings for MSL. North do it in style again.
All tied up. We were tied at 6. We're tied at 9. NIP were probably feeling good after they picked up that pistol, but they're going to be right back at those pistols, Vince. Tough pill to swallow. North, what do you have in store for us? Op not necessary with this North lineup, and I like that. You know, MSL, he throws it into the mix when he pleases. And look at this. They're just going to run through the Molotov. No harm, no foul. Move across the coals. Ah, but the grenade lands. A perfect dunk onto Plopsky. AZ's able to get himself a kill. The Glock headshot response, however, with Hampus having hands on an M4. So that's one weapon retrieved at the least. Bomb on knock. You know, if they could get a plant out of all this, that'd be awesome. And you have to think that the CTs will play separated. They all will be separate. That's the case. MSL feeling out top mid, one player per bomb site. If these two Ts can best Christu, then that's an A plant at the very least. But he sees a leg, falls back. Oh no, he's going to go in off the flash as well. So he's keeping them back there, allowing MSL to get active on the flank.
That's exactly it, yeah. You hit the nail on the head. He is trying to play possum. He's trying to be that irritating nuisance while MSL moves in. Again, not taking the fights. He knows the importance of the economy. He knows the importance of this round. And now MSL's flank comes into fruition. Very well played from Christu. That's really solid from North. I love that.
Yep. That's the kind of play where it's like, it takes his brain fart. His discretion, you know, he's got to play that cautiously, but all the while, you know that your leader is instructing you kind of what to do. If there was any level of egoism there, then maybe Christu kind of goes for a re-peek or sticks around, shoots a couple shots off of the first peek, but he was so timid that at no point did he think he was going to be the one to close that round. It was always meant to be MSL, and it worked out perfectly. Now he'll get his chance right back at bat by trying to peek down this A ramp. They go here 3 guys early for North just to flex the man advantage, make sure that no Ts can get up into the short side. And once those smokes fade, it'll be confirmed that nobody's here for the ninjas, but they do sit just outside it. Maybe in anticipation of one of the CTs getting aggressive. If we can see the angle of twist, you'll see what I'm talking about. Oh, never mind. He gave it up. But same thing. CTs, they've gotten their positions. North ready for it. And Twist, he's going to peek right into that AWP. Now, that doesn't even tell them about Christu. Yeah, the player who was forward. We talked about Christu setting up MSL last round, Vince. This is his reward. You play perfectly, kid. I'm going to get you a 2-piece. MSL takes all the attention. Christu swings wide for the big ones.
Yeah, it's great to see this teamwork in action, and maybe that was the missing part of the puzzle. As we said, it's been this revolving door around the 5th player. Maybe Christo's mentality of team first and me second is exactly what MSL was looking to mold into this roster, mold into this lineup with just the personality that clicks into play. We know there's a lot of experience. We know there's a lot of talent on this team, but for whatever reason, other than a long time ago in, I think it was DreamHack Stockholm, where MSL went massive and ended up winning it. Yeah, exactly, with the AWP weapons. Other than that, it's been pretty slim pickings for this roster. And now North are going to manage to navigate their way to a 4th round in a row. Every player kept standing at the end. And NIP into a save. This is North's golden opportunity to fast-track themselves into potentially just the map. If they can repel this next buy that'll be coming up next round, they're in really good shape to take their choice.
You know, it's wild, but Vertigo is actually the highest win percentage for NIP in all of their maps over the last 3 months. It's not a map that they're, you know, necessarily going to themselves, but they're comfortable here, and so the game should be close. Same can be said for Train. Just pistols, Vince. Just pistols, and Hampus has managed himself 2 kills right out the gates. Again, just that tempered aggression at times on Vertigo. You just crank the dial, crank the grenade. AZ, he just blew Twist and Hampus right out of the water like a torpedo on that A site. Now AZ, he's going to take to the top rope. He sprays down Knock through the concrete ramp as he's falling back. That was just a wild, totally inaccurate spray down, and he somehow just railguns him in the brain. Plopsky also slain. Christu gets behind him in the smoke, and North shut that one down. But if you had to tell me that I needed to decide who would pick that up after the first clash, it really did seem like Ninjas had that A site. It's just a perfect grenade from AZ with 2 kills. You know, you throw that nade and do damage, you consider it successful. You do that grenade and get 1 kill, you're happy as all hell. But the double, that is a delicacy for North to get this 3-round lead.
AZ straight daredeviling fools. Didn't see a single one of those 3 plays. He got 3 kills blind, basically. 2 HE frags, and then, as you said, that wall bang. The Devil of Vertigo, and now Gade's going to be going in. alongside his partner in crime with the aforementioned AZ. There's smokes, there's flames, and there's a whole bunch of bullets, and they line up for AZ for 3. That's the bomb down with them. NIP have been cauterized again, and this wound, at least momentarily, is going to close, but it's going to be reopened if Gade has something to say about it with the M4. Good flash in, good follow-up spray, and North are looking perfect on this CT side. I can't see how NIP get back into it. It's 6 unanswered rounds in a row.
Horrifying. 6 unanswered rounds, not even a bomb plant. You know, this is going back to when North, they won those 5T rounds. We said, like, wow, only 3 deaths over the course of 5 rounds. Well, over the course of that 6, we've got 7. You know, so another incredibly good situation here for North. They're not giving up plants. They're cultivating cash. They've got $10,000 extra on both Gade and AZ, who are firing off with the free Kalashnikovs. Pistols yet again here, just trying to challenge as quick as they can. Not up a ramp, but rather through mid. Plopsky flying and still managing to get the headshot versus Cajun. That's an upgrade. Now 2 rifles in the hands of the Ninjas, and they clear that B site. But AZ hot on their heels. A second kill into Plopsky and a third. 27. This is absurd. AZ shows no signs of stopping.
He's taking no prisoners, man. He's just straight up capping people left and right, and there's nothing to stop him. The guy, he had a good first half, but it wasn't this crazy. 27 kills, 108 ADR. The guy just kills everything that's put ahead of him. And now NIP, more as like a detox period than anything else. Just call the timeout, try and recollect themselves, try and figure out what the hell to come up with, because they've had plenty of rifle rounds. They won the pistol, Scrawny. That's the crazy thing. They won the second pistol. It was pretty much all even, and since then it's been one-way traffic with North, and let's face it, AZ behind the wheel, pressing his foot down on the pedal, on the throats of NIP, and being unrelenting. Let's see what they come up with here. I'd like to see something maybe more mid-centered, because nothing else has really been working for them.
Established A advantage. CT's actually not getting up and aggressive on it. Off of the pause, they just decide to stack heavier towards B. But obviously utility being used here by Ninjas on the A site. What tells me that this is going to be a longer round, of course, is that bomb's just floating in the middle of it all. So yes, you can go out and establish your map control, but you're not taking any kind of a chance. And oh boy, Plopsky, he was down at the base of the B stairs. AZ decides to aggress into it off of Gade's flashbang, and they just found him with his head turned, trying to tuck like a turtle behind the staircase, Vince. It doesn't work. He's down. He's dead. 5v4 here for North, and they've got a great conversion percentage off of these man advantages. So this is going to be a tough one for Ninjas. They're going to try and slam their head against the wall of this A site. MSL boosted on his teammate with the op up over smoke. Catches knock, soaring through the skies. Just shoots out the propeller, and he dive bombs onto the bomb site with the bomb itself. Hampus is going to be able to pick that one up. His 2 teammates at a further distance trying to give him cover, but now the smoke grenades have faded. The T's have nothing left, and the defense, they don't have to give them shit. They don't have to go for any kind of a peek until it's time to win the round on a retake, Vince.
Might be that time right now. M4 spraying out from Christo, gets 2, leaving Twist 1v5. 2 players are pretty low. Good smoke put down with even better spray from who else but AZ. 29 kills, 6 assists to his name, and potentially the last round coming up. I hope for him he can land his 30, because he absolutely deserves it. NIP, it might be time to bring out the defibs, Scrawny, but honestly, I don't think there's going to be any lifeline.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough ride. This is wild, you know. I was just watching Plopsky. I'm thinking to myself, like, oh shit, Plopsky, okay, he's going to give us that 30 bomb. You know, in the first 5 rounds of the game, it felt like he was the guy who had stepped up to play. And while he still has silently gotten himself up to the 22 frag count, it's AZ that shines just a bit brighter. We saw that B stack out the gate for North last round. It wasn't even needed in the end, but they go back for it. And the difference being, this time Ninja's in position here. whether they know it or not, the CT is already bolstered for this sort of a play. Flashbangs are great, but the CT is unable to find that opening kill. Now AZ, he's compromised. He's sticking around a little bit, hits the headshot, but the frag grenade of Twist is going to get the answer back. 4v3. They are on top of one another. There's no space to breathe for Nip right now, and they don't want to go over to that A site, Vince. It seems like they're going to just stop, catch their breath, and continue on.
They don't need to push necessarily. They have the player advantage with plenty of utility left, but Rez taking damage elsewhere. Plopsky stuck on the stairs. They have stalled. It's gone from a sprint into more of a dawdle towards the site, and MSL, he's okay with this. He's got the AWP in a good position. There's an incendiary being tossed in from Cajun B as soon as the call is given, which is right now. That stops the push in its tracks for a little bit longer, and it alleviates the pressure on Christou. He can just play this off angle forever. He's fine with this outcome. And now that they've pushed back the T's, they're going to send that secondary rotation for Cajun B headed towards the A site. I'm fearing the worst for NIP. They could just be walking into this slow rotation and potentially trap.
Yeah, definitely a chance here. There's a huge chance for Christou to go ham. AZ, he got to his 30th. Can Christou get to 20 and sweep these last three players? He lines up two, tries to respond to that short peek. They know exactly where the last guys are at, and Christou gunning them all down. Knock, he's gonna try and take that bomb plant, but he can't find it. A 3K from Christou, patient on the A-hold, and it all pays off. That is a huge map win for North in very convincing fashion. The highest win percentage of NIP across any competitive map is Vertigo. And they just took it off them, Vince. That is quite impressive. And for AZ to have 30 kills, for Christou to have 20, those two fraggers at 50 kills combined is awesome. Awesome to see for North. A little bit of life out of North, Vince. I appreciate that.
As do I, man. Like, I can't believe that after the first sort of 6 or 7 rounds, this game ended up being 16-9 to North. Nip were wrecking them. I was like, oh man, this is North's choice of map and they're getting this destroyed. Well, enter AZ. He has a few things to talk about, Scrawny, and he's got a few bullets to put to heads. What a performance.
Yeah, I can only hope that as we move on to Train, which is the second map, of course, and NIP's second highest win rate, therefore explaining their pick, that things are a bit different. You know, like North picking up one map. I've seen good things from them on Vertigo. I saw them play it versus Riders twice in the last couple of days, and you know, I knew this was going to be a decent one. I didn't think it would be so one-sided, and I genuinely didn't believe that North would have the firepower. But clearly, AZ showed up, and so did Christou as that kind of second X factor in my mind. So what happens on Train? Well, we'll have to get there and find out. But I bet you there's going to be Cajun B clutching because that was another reason they picked up this first one. Folks, join us in just a moment after the break. We'll be back with Train in a moment.